wholeness.
Wholeness, how do you say wholeness?
La felicidad, ¿no? A la santidad. Santidad. Santidad.
Yeah, something like that.
¿Qué es lo que dentro de la religión que contribuye a eso?
And then they realized that to get an answer required a complete new perspective on spirituality and the role of the body in spirituality.
Entonces se dieron cuenta que para contestar esta pregunta requería una perspectiva completamente diferente sobre el cuerpo y la relación del cuerpo con la espiritualidad.
Yeah. And they found in the texts that were made by the Catholic Church, the connection with the body was lost.
Ellos encontraron que en los textos que fueron creados por la Iglesia Católica, la conexión con el cuerpo fue perdida.
Hello, come on in, be welcome. There are chairs here for you. BioSpirituality and what attracts people to come to this workshop. And we just started about the priests, Peter Campbell and Ed McMahon. They were the founders of the BioSpirituality. One of the differences between Jean Gentlin and the priests is that Jean speaks about focusing, or he calls focusing, a doorway, and what's behind the doorway, he says, that's not my specialty.
Una diferencia entre focusing y lo que inventaron los dos sacerdotes es que Gentlin dice que el focusing es una entrada, pero lo que queda detrás de la entrada no es mi territorio.
Pete and Ed, they speak about what's behind the keyhole or the door.
Pero Pete y Ed hablan de lo que queda detrás de la entrada, de la puerta.
But to follow this metaphor, they say about the work of Jean, Jean let the light shine on the keyhole, and it's the body itself that offers the key to experience of what it means to be human.
Pete dice que Jean dejó lucir la luz en el lugar donde se pone la llave, y la llave es
The body,
es el cuerpo.
the body offers the key to the experience of what it means to be human.
Y el cuerpo ofrece la llave a lo que quiere decir ser un ser humano.
And feelings are signals of the body, of the soul. There's something to learn.
Son señales del cuerpo que hay algo que aprender.
the soul comes to us through our feelings. It's connected here. Yeah.
Está conectada cuando ahí dijo que había leído que el alma pues, nos habla por medio de los sentimientos.
I do not agree anymore. I'm mixed up. And the feelings bring us to the soul. We have learned about bad feelings and good feelings, especially in religious culture, well, at least in mine. And there are feelings like anger, being jealous, whatever. Inval.
Envidia.
Oh, envy, sorry.
Envious. A lot of feelings that are bad. And we also have good feelings. The friendly, being generous, and all the things. And yeah.
Okay. La religión nos habla mucho de los sentimientos malos como la envidia, celoso y todo eso. Y también de los sentimientos buenos como la felicidad, el amor. Y esto fue lo que yo aprendí en mi religión.
And I think some of you will recognize that. But that's where we become disconnect from the body, because we want to disconnect from these feelings that are bad, and that's where we lose the connection.
Perdemos la conexión porque no queremos sentir estos sentimientos que son malos, según la religión.
Yeah, and now I would like to bring this. Yeah, they say Paul is speaking in the Bible about it's no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me.
Entonces, San Pablo dice en la Biblia que ya no es yo que vivo, sino Cristo que vive en mí.
And that's what happens when we reconnect with our feelings.
Y eso es lo que pasa cuando nos reconectamos con nuestros sentimientos.
And I think that's what you said. Then you can feel you are alive.
Yeah.
Y luego en este momento uno puede sentir que uno sí está vivo.
And then we are also coming to the dualism. You have the body, and the body most of the time is not good, and we have to go to the spirit. And Peter Net say, but you come to the spirit through your body.
Entonces vivimos en el dualismo donde el cuerpo es malo y por eso tenemos que ir al espíritu, pero ellos dicen que llegamos al espíritu por medio del cuerpo.
They have a beautiful phrase, through the body with a small b, to the larger body with a capital B.
Tienen la frase hacia el cuerpo, del cuerpo con el P minúscula, hacia el cuerpo con el P grande.
And before I go to the two sources inside, I would like to say something about the traumas in our life. Peter Net say that it's not the trauma that makes our life so difficult. It is the disconnection with it.
El trauma que hace tan difícil nuestras vidas, sino la
sometimes it helps to disconnect from the feelings of trauma. I don't want to make it smaller because it can be very hurtful.
A veces nos ayuda realmente desconectar del, ¿es el del trauma o
Del drama.
del? Okay. Ajá. Y no quiero achicar el trauma porque puede ser muy devastador.
So it's understandable, and at the same time, to heal the wounds and to become whole, we need to reconnect.
Para sanar nuestras heridas y para llegar a ser completos, tenemos que reconectar con estos sentimientos de trauma.
And if we reconnect, we connect with two sources in our bodies.
Si reconectamos, nos reconectamos con dos fuentes en nuestro cuerpo.
And one source is the source of life, what they also call the grace of God.
Uno es la fuente de la vida que ellos también llaman la gracia de Dios.
The source of energy is here on my...
La fuente de la energía.
And the second source is the knowing of the consciousness, the knowing how to live in harmony with yourself and with the environment.
Y la segunda fuente es saber cómo vivir en armonía con uno mismo y con el medio ambiente.
And these two sources are together what is called revelation.
Y estas dos cosas juntas son lo que se llama la revelación.
And it's the body where the reconnection starts.
Es en el cuerpo donde empieza esta reconexión.
The key word for them is connection.
La palabra clave para ellos es conexión.
And I think the term process skipping belongs to Peter Net. I'm not sure, but I do think so.
Ellos inventaron el término brincar el proceso.
And they mean by process skipping the disconnection, going away from what's true.
Por eso quieren decir la desconexión, ir fuera, huir de lo que es la verdad en nuestra experiencia.
And to reconnect
Y para reconectar
and to feel the wisdom of the body, that's what they call spirituality.
y para reconectar y sentir la sabiduría del cuerpo, eso es lo que ellos llaman la espiritualidad.
And I would like to say something about body brain and head brain.
Body, brain, and what kind of brain?
Head brain. Brains in your head.
Quiero hablar del cerebro corporal y el cerebro que está en nuestra cabeza.
In the modern world, the head brain and the body brain are separated.
En el mundo de hoy, el cerebro de la cabeza y del cuerpo son separados.
And especially in the Western world, the head brain is very much preferred above the body brain.
Y especialmente en el mundo occidental, hay una preferencia para el cerebro que está en la cabeza.
And the difference between head brain and body brain is that the knowledge of the head brain is coming from outside.
La sabiduría, lo que sabe el cerebro en la cabeza viene de afuera.
It's what we read,
Es
what
lo
we
que
learn,
lo que
it's this body-brain that is intercultural and connect us all together. Connection with yourself and with your products, the environment.
Este cerebro corporal es lo que nos conecta unos al otros y adentro de nosotros.
And because of the
Interrelationship.
because of this, the being interreligious, there's also hope for peace in focusing, and then I think I'm hope for peace, hope for the world, hope for a better world.
Y porque el focusing en esta conexión no hay guerra entre las diferentes religiones, hay más esperanza para la paz en el mundo.
But we need, of course, some help to connect, especially when we have difficult feelings.
Pero necesitamos ayuda para conectar, especialmente cuando tenemos sentimientos difíciles.
And I think Suzanne is talking about, in her workshop, talking about self-empathy. And I think Peter is talking about self-presence. And I think Tomeo will be talking about focusing attitude.
Entonces, en todas estas disciplinas, Susana está hablando sobre la autoempatía, Tomeo está hablando sobre la actitud de focusing y Peter está hablando de presencia.
And the priests call it a caring, feeling presence.
Así, y él y Tito llaman una presencia que siente y que ama, a que le importa, como caring.
Que le importa,
Que
sí.
toman cuidado.
Que nos cuida.
A caring, feeling presence is the climate in which you can be with the feelings that are difficult for you. And I thought maybe we can do a little exercise.
Vamos a hacer un ejercicio sobre este tipo de presencia que siente y que nos cuida.
To explain the caring, feeling presence, they often tell a story about a child.
Ellos cuentan para explicar cómo es esta presencia. Tienen una historia de un bebé.
And they tell about a child that is brought to a hospital,
Que lo llevan a un hospital,
left on the stairs,
que se abandona en la escalera del hospital.
no father, no mother,
No
nobody.
tiene mamá ni papá, nadie.
And then they say, you're in the car, and you have the radio on,
Y vos estás en tu carro con el radio y estás manejando.
and then there's a message from the hospital, and they are asking for somebody who is willing to take care of the child.
Entonces hay un mensaje en el radio que están pidiendo, buscando a alguien que puede cuidar a este bebé abandonado.
And they invite you to image that you drive to the hospital,
Y te invitan a imaginar que manejas hasta el hospital
and take care for a child,
y cuidas al bebé.
for the first help. And the feeling they invite you to feel how it would feel inside take the baby in your arms and to hold it softly, carefully, carefully.
Y ellos te invitan a sentir cómo sentirías adentro el momento de tomar este bebé en tus brazos. ¿Cuál sería la sensación dentro de ti de estar chineando a este bebé?
So, to do an exercise, I would like to invite you to think of something in your life, something of you really don't like.
Vamos a todos a pensar en algo de nosotros que realmente no nos gusta.
Something you really don't want to have, a feeling, experience.
Una experiencia o un sentimiento que realmente no
it's only a very short exercise. But I had the feeling there was a lot of currently presence in the room. I don't know if you have felt some of it. Felt a little bit of difference inside.
Así que había mucha presencia, presente, efectiva en el cuerpo. No sé si han sentido una diferencia dentro.
Yeah.
You could feel it. Can you say something about it? There's no need. Could feel it. Yeah? Yeah. Other people, did you feel a difference? Could you feel something we maybe would call shifting in the therapeutic presence?
¿Se podían sentir algo cambiando adentro? I felt something very profound. It's almost like I have to be with it much more in order to integrate it. Sentí algo muy profundo y que tengo que estar más con eso para integrarlo.
And I think it's that profound feeling that makes this special, makes a special feeling of it. Is it correct?
Oh, I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, it surprises me that in such a short time, with such a short exercise, I was able to go to a place that really needed my caring, feeling presence. Me sorprendí que en un momento, en un ejercicio tan corto, en un seminario tan corto, yo podía ir a un lugar tan profundo que realmente hacía falta, donde hacía falta mi presencia. Increíble.
Pete and Ed say that is what spirituality is. Just to be with it.
Eso es la espiritualidad.
Donde yo había puesto mi mano, en ese sector sentí como una expansión, como un abismo.
When I put my hand on that place, I felt an expansion in something that was like an abyss.
Abyss?
Abyss.
Abyss.
Thank you.
Abyss.
If connecting to the body is spirituality, what is not connecting to the body? Did they label that?
Process to be.
I didn't hear the question.
You said if connecting to the body is spirituality, what is not connecting to the body?
Entonces si conectar con el cuerpo es la espiritualidad, el no conectar con el cuerpo se llama brincar el proceso.
Yes.
Why do we disconnect? And is disconnection trauma? Is that what trauma is?
That's a good question.
What was the question?
There's two questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is disconnection trauma? And why do we disconnect?
Es desconexión, ¿por qué nos desconectamos? Y si la
through caring, feeling presence, we don't know how to be with the pain.
No sabemos cómo estar con el dolor, por eso nos desconectamos.
And I think it's quite natural movement to go away from the pain.
Es muy natural irnos del dolor.
It sounds like we're born disconnected. We're disconnected from our caring presence.
Okay, can I say something now?
Yes, please, go ahead, yes.
That disconnect, yes, pain, and there isn't that self, but it's not natural. We're born knowing focusing. So if we are with whatever it is that we're experiencing, but we're taught, don't feel, right? Please me, be happy, all that sort of thing. So we disconnect from our experience that we're having so that we can not feel and be something that we're not. And so that leads to a huge spiritual disconnection, never mind attention on the body. And the other thing that
Can I say
sorry.
something?
Yeah.
So, nacimos con la facilidad de sentir todo, pero lo que aprendimos es no sentir para complacer a nuestros papás. Entonces, cuando aprendemos a no sentir, nos desconectamos. Y I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm not too sure what I'm missing, but anyway.
The other part is that, how am I going to say this? Whatever it is that we're feeling in the body,
Lo que sentimos en el cuerpo,
when we pay attention to that in a focusing way,
cuando prestamos atención a este lugar de una manera focus, ¿no?
then that is when we get the knowing and the wisdom.
Es el momento donde nos cae la sabiduría
And the shift.
y el cambio.
So it's not, people say body wisdom, but it's the being with. It's not a thing. It's a process.
Las personas hablan de la sabiduría del cuerpo, pero no es una cosa la sabiduría, sino el estar con que produce el cambio. Eso es de donde viene la sabiduría del cuerpo.
Like the soul isn't a thing, but a process.
El alma no es una cosa, sino a process,
An experience.
sino una experiencia, un proceso.
I wanted to add something too, if I may. I think it's cultural that we disconnect, which agrees with what you just said.
It's also cultural, yeah.
I met a woman years ago, her name is Soban Fusome, who does grieving rituals.
Yo conocí a una mujer hace años que hace rituales para las pérdidas.
And she came from a village in Africa.
Ella vino de un pueblo en África.
And there they have this availability to go grieve at an altar from this town at this couple of weeks, this town on this day, that town on that day. There's always the opportunity to grieve.
Ellos van de pueblo en pueblo para dar a la gente la oportunidad de procesar su dolor.
And yeah, it's a beautiful ceremony that she did for us that time.
Es una hermosa ceremonia que hizo para nosotros.
And she would just, we would have people wailing and hitting the floor, crying and screaming, and we don't allow this even at the funeral parlor.
Culturalmente no permitimos el llorar y pegar las cosas ni
Yeah.
en los funerales.
We have learned what to feel and what not to feel, and that is the disconnection. Yeah.
Hemos aprendido lo que podemos sentir y lo que no debemos sentir.
And Peter Net say, feeling not okay is the difference between what you feel and what you think you should feel.
Say that again.
Feeling not okay is the difference between the way you feel and the way you think you should feel.
El no sentirse bien es la diferencia entre lo que sientes y lo que piensas que debes sentir.
And grace is the sign, the shift, the feeling how good it is to be with it.
Y la gracia de Dios es el suspiro, el cambio, la sensación de qué bueno es finalmente estar con eso.
And the wonder is then that the pain isn't so painful as you thought.
Y luego nos sorprendemos que el dolor ya no es tan doloroso como sentimos, como pensamos.
So what we can do is look for this way of living, this rhythm of grace, what they call.
Entonces podemos buscar este ritmo de vivir, la manera de vivir con la gracia, como ellos lo llaman,
Going from a controlling way of life to a life of allowing and receiving.
desde una vida de controlar todo a una vida de permitir y recibir.
Soul, spirit is a human experience and it's always in motion.
El alma y el espíritu son experiencias humanas y son siempre en moción.
Did you say it was a rhythmic way of life?
It is a
Rhythmic?
the rhythm of grace.
The rhythm of grace is to go from controlling to allowing.
Yes, and the allowing way of living, that's the rhythm of grace. And then the paradigm of health includes the assumption of a state without pain.
El paradigma de la salud incluye que podemos vivir sin el dolor.
And that's the same old paradigm. I have pain and I shouldn't have pain.
Entonces es el paradigma de que tengo dolor, pero no debo tener el dolor.
And the caring, feeling presence is about a readiness of being with it and the willingness to wait until it lets you know that it needs something